All right, thank you guys. I guess we'll start at the beginning. When I was about 7 years old, the state filed false accusations against my mom and my dad. And due to that, me and my four brothers were removed from the household. We were put into the custody of the state for Child Protective Services. And I was actually in the system with my family for about a year and a half, which was really tough because at 7 years old, the only thing that you know is what your favorite toy is and what you love to eat. That's about it. So having been dragged into this situation at such a young age, I didn't know how to respond to any of it. And me and my brothers were all separated, so you didn't have the family with you to help you go through it. For about a year and a half, I was through this. Me and my brothers were separated, and it was hard. But after a while, my aunt and uncle stepped in, and they took me in, which was a blessing because it was so much better being with my family again, having all of that love that I didn't have before. Which was good because for probably about a year, everything went back to normal. It wasn't mom and dad, it was aunt and uncle, but it was still back to normal. After a while, my mom got remarried and she got custody of me and all my brothers, and it was great because we all got back together. It was kind of weird, had to get used to everybody again. But, I moved, which was tough because moving is always tough. Everything was going good again. We were a family. And then we hit a rough patch. My mom and my stepdad went through some problems and ended up getting divorced. So after having stayed in one spot for about 6 years, had to uproot my life, all of my friends, all of my memories, and move to a different city. Tough at first, and then, things started settling in, started getting back into the swing of things, making friends, and then parents come home and tell me, we found a new house, but it's 2 hours away. So for the second time, uproot my life, all my friends, everything I had started was all gone. And then I moved to Waterford, which is actually where I have lived since 8th grade, thankfully. My mom told me, she's like, I promise I'm not gonna move until you at least graduate high school. I was like, I can take it, at least graduation, then I'll be good. Everything, was doing better because we were still a family. I was still dealing with all the stuff from the past just because it's always there. The scar that left is always gonna be there. Started I was doing church on and off, beginning of high school, and then kind of fell out of it. My high school years were rough, very rough actually. Depression caught on real quick after 8th grade, and it was a struggle. I was failing classes, I was getting caught in the wrong crowds. I tried to fill the voids that you fill in life with anything I could get, friends, partying, whatever. And then I met a pastor at my school, because our school had a little rec area, and there used to be a pastor that'd be there every day, always talking to kids, trying to get them to come to church. And it was cool because it was different, because I knew schools are always like, no church, no God, no praying, rawr. But he was always there. He was always determined to bring somebody. And me and him started talking, went out to B-dubs for lunch a couple times, and then next thing I knew it, I had a youth group. It was cool. I had friends, my walk with God was going really, really well. And then depression kicked in again. I fell out of church, like the statistic that Pradeepan talks about. After high school, things change. You become a totally different person, focused on school, focused on, the career you want to follow. And sadly, I was part of the statistic. I fell out, and depression caught me, and again, it was back to the fill in the voids. Anything I could get my hands on, anybody I could be around that made me feel better. Right after I graduated high school, I decided to skip summer vacation. I know, it's a sin. I went straight to college, which was really, really tough. I went to a tech college in Ohio. I was there for about 11 months, still dealing with filling the voids, all the depression, except I developed severe anxiety when I was in Ohio because it was my first time out of the state, away from home. I actually used to call my mom every night, like shaking in a corner, crying, freaking out. She's like, calm down, what's wrong? I was like, I can't do it, I gotta come home. She's like, no, you'll be fine, just breathe, and just remember, God loves you. But at that point, it was like, yeah, God loves me, I know. 11 months in, I found out that my right kidney was dying. Yeah, I had 9% kidney function in my right kidney. Totally caught me off guard. They tried to fix it, and it went down. And at 6%, they told me that they had to remove my kidney. So April of 2011, I went in and had my right kidney removed, which is really hard because I try to explain it to most people and they don't get it because it's the psychological blow. Because everybody here, you have 2 kidneys growing up. You know, you never have to worry about, changing your lifestyle, what you eat, what you do. I lost my kidney. I was told I could never do anything dangerous. I couldn't go skydiving, couldn't be a boxer. Shoot, because I love fighting so much. But yeah, so it was hard for me because after that, it was also 7 months of physical recovery just because of all the incisions and everything they had to do. So I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I sat at home on the couch. After a while, everything got better. I had to drop out of college because of it, which sucked because I'm still stuck with those loans and everything. But I got back up, started doing work again, and I just kept working. Always kept my nose to the grindstone, just working. I found the current job I'm at, and then I had to have another surgery to remove a cyst on my wrist because it was causing problems at work. So I'm sitting at home again, big old cast on my arm, and it was actually a Tuesday night. I believe it was the Christmas party. Yeah. I'd been out of church for about a year. My mom had actually been coming here. So she's like, hey, why don't you go to the youth group on Tuesdays that they have? I was like, youth group? I was like, I've been to so many before. It might be like all the rest. I might go for a little bit and then decide, it's not for me. She goes, no, you should try it. It's totally different. We've been going to the church for a couple months now. It's really fun. I was like, why not? I'm just sitting on the couch doing nothing anyway, so all right. So my mom drove me up here, get to the front of the building. I was like, that's the youth group? She's like, yeah, it's their own building. I was like, okay, Rockwall. I can work with this. So I walked in, being in a new place. I'm really shy, which is, kind of not apparent because I'm totally comfortable up here, strangely. But, I walked in, sat in the corner all by myself, just watching everybody walk around, talk, because everybody knew each other. It was like, it's kind of the same. Nobody's talking to me. And then one of the greeters, ran over to me. Started talking to me. And she started dragging her friends over just to meet me. It felt good because I'd lost most of my friends over the years, stupid stuff, fights we had. They fell, into a different group of friends. But yeah, so for like 15 minutes, just dragging her friends over to talk to me. It was cool. I felt like it was at home again, which was really hard. Because since the first incident in my life, home was never there again. Even after, going back to my mom, it was gone. Through high school, I hit rock bottom. Got back up, hit rock bottom again. I was always just sitting there, like laying on the ground in the darkness, looking up and seeing a light, and it was just out of my reach. And then I came here. It's totally different. I don't know most of you. I mean, I'd love to. I'm just too shy to go talk to anybody. But yeah. The one thing that I hope somebody, anybody, all of you, even if one person gets it and it helps them, it doesn't matter how far you fall. It doesn't matter how alone you feel. It took me 22 years. God's always there. Even if you think he's abandoned you, even if you think, God hates me, all this stuff has happened in life, I don't know what to do, he's always there. He will never leave you. It took me 22 years to find out. So I hope and I pray that what I'm doing right now, shows you, no matter what, God's there. Everybody's there. Everybody here's there. I don't know half everybody here, but I feel the love. But that's me. That's my story. Any questions, feel free. I don't bite. I don't bite unless you ask, but that's a totally separate story. But that's about it,